One of my key roles as headmaster is to advise parents on their choice of senior schools. While every child's circumstances and needs are different, as are the range of senior schools within the area, there are some fundamental questions that are worth asking or points to consider in making what is a very crucial decision. I've often found that word of mouth is the best guide. Ask other parents about their experiences of the senior schools within the area and where they've sent their children to. Ask their opinions. Trust your instincts when you visit a school. That gut feeling that you have. Would your child be comfortable there? Would the school meet his or her individual needs? Crucially, try to talk to as many pupils at the school as you can. Do they have the values and attitudes that you would want to see in your own children? Listen carefully to what the head has to say. Listen to the key teachers. Do they speak as a team? And when it comes to the teaching staff, are they all settled in their posts? Remember, you're looking to the future, not to the here and now. I think it's really important that you ask a school about its value-added data. What is the value that they are adding to the children, to the results? Ask also how well they extend those children who are very academically gifted, but also how well and how do they support those children who perhaps may struggle. What does it look at either end of the spectrum? When considering schools, don't place too much store on league tables. You know, a league table doesn't really reflect actually the value that is added when you're academically selecting the best. Ask where the pupils go on to university. Is it a broad range? Are they doing a broad range of courses? If you can find out how many of those children actually stay on at university into their first year. Do many drop out? Have the schools prepared them well to be independent learners? Don't ignore the option of local schools. Some of them have fantastic results. They are worth a look. Don't be over-impressed by facilities. You'll end up paying for these, one way or another. Consider instead how much use your child will make use of those facilities. Ask about the responsibilities placed on the pupils and what is expected of them. Ask how you're going to be kept informed of your child's progress. How often will you be communicated to by the school? If there is a problem or a concern, how will that be addressed? Ask about the code of discipline, the school rules, and the teaching of life skills. Are these reflected in the pupils that you meet? Remember, the benefits of a good prep school education in providing the work ethic, motivation and self-discipline for lifelong learning cannot be underestimated. In choosing wisely once, in choosing Sherburn House, you've already done the most important thing for your child.
As Year 6 tutors and in my role as Director of Studies, we've put together what we hope will be a useful guide for parents of children in Upper Key Stage 2 as they start to think about the application process for moving to secondary school at the end of their time at Year 6.
Both Sarah and I have been Year 6 tutors for a number of years and have seen different children go on to many different schools. So we hope this information contained within this video gives some of that experiences, but please feel free to contact us if you need any more information. different schools have different entrance procedures, which use a variety of test types and focus on different subject matter. State schools generally require no entrance test, and the application procedure is set out clearly by the local education authority, with key dates published on their website. The exception to this is those children applying to grammar schools, which for our pupils usually mean those in Salisbury, South Wilts Grammar for girls, or Bishop Wordsworth for boys. In this case, applicants sit entrance tests early in September of Year 6, and if successful, can nominate the appropriate grammar school amongst their state school options, which must be completed by the end of October in Year 6. As a school, we send out the relevant links for applying for a state school place for Hampshire County Council, but it is important as parents that you note the deadline for submission on the online forms. The allocation of places for state school is then released in early March. However, state school selection is dependent on certain criteria set by the county. Hampshire County Council's website details the lists of these criteria, of which living within a school catchment area is a key requirement. It is important to note that the success in entry test for either of the Salisbury grammar schools does not guarantee the offer of a place, as catchment area rules still apply. Although many of you will be considering a fee-paying option for the next step in your child's education, we advise all parents to apply for a state school place as well, in case there are any changes in family circumstances in your child's last few terms at Sherborne House.
Entrance tests for the two grammar schools in Salisbury are set via national examination boards and cover maths, English and reasoning questions. The girls' school uses GL test papers, the same exam board as the online assessments that we use in school. The boys' school uses Chem papers, much the same format but with a mixture of questions across two papers rather than separate papers for each discipline as used by the girls' school. Examples and practice questions are available on each of the Salisbury Grammar School's websites and more generally via online searches. Similar procedures are in place for other grammar schools such as Bournemouth and Reading. The grammar school tests usually involve multiple choice questions with computer marked answer sheets, and we practice for these in the latter half of Year 5 and into Year 6 with particular focus on pace and timing and techniques to ensure that no questions go unanswered. The majority of Sherborne House pupils sit entrance tests for one or more of our local independent schools: Embley in Romsey, King Edward's in Southampton, St Swithers in Winchester and the Gregg School in Southampton. When considering applying for independent schools, we would recommend that you apply for at least 2 schools. Each of these schools run their own admission process with tests and interviews in the second half of the autumn term and the first few weeks of the spring term. There are generally no school-specific past papers available, although details about the format of the admissions procedures are available on each individual school's website. In general, applicants sit papers in maths and English with some reasoning questions, verbal, non-verbal or a mixture of both. The English papers usually include an unseen writing task alongside reading comprehension. Preparation suitable for all entrance tests is built into core subject lessons, and from Year 5 onwards we expose the children to a variety of question styles and testing formats, covering a range of skills. For children who are not set to take any entrance tests, this consolidation and practice stands them in good stead for the start of Year 7, when they're likely to encounter in-school testing to help establish setting groups within their first term. St Swithin's Girls' School in Winchester currently uses the Independent Schools Examination Board 11 Plus Common Entrance admissions procedure, which includes a pre-test at the beginning of October. This pre-test aims to give the school an overview of the children's potential in maths, English, verbal and non-verbal reasoning. If girls are successful in the pre-tests, they're then able to sit common entrance exams early in the spring term for maths, English and potentially science. As part of the admission procedure, Embley, King Edward's and the Gregg include an interview as part of the entrance requirement. We prepare children for these interviews with practice in talking about their learning and extracurricular activities, as well as answering direct questions in a confident and interesting manner. Mock interviews are usually carried out at the end of the autumn term in school.
Once the application process has closed for each different independent school, the individual school's admission team contacts us, asking for us to share relevant data and information as part of the transfer process. This includes scores from standardised testing for maths, English and reasoning that is carried out as part of our usual assessment cycle within the school year. During the autumn term of Year 6, we will gather information from pupils regarding their activities and achievements in school and outside, and combine these with our assessment data to complete a transfer form that is sent to each school applied. Obviously, COVID-19 restrictions have had an impact on entrance tests during this academic year, as the schools were forced to alter their assessment dates and methods of delivery. It will be interesting to see if any of the secondary schools maintain any of these changes long term, and whether or not the format of their tests alters to reflect improved practice. We will be liaising with the admission teams over the next few months to ensure that we are informed as to the structure of the exams and transfer procedure for secondary school entry in 2022 and beyond, in order to adequately prepare children as they move through Year 5 and Year 6. Independent schools usually confirm offer places before the February half term, and currently Hampshire County Council informed parents via email of state school places for Year 7 on the 1st of March. However, this does not necessarily allow parents sufficient time to consider these offers before the cut-off date that some independent schools may set for acceptance of their places they have offered. Once places have been accepted, each individual secondary school will begin their own transfer procedures. We integrate this within our own timetable and allow time within lessons for children to discuss their hopes and concerns for the next stage of their education.
Within school, the staff uses a range of sources of information to keep track of pupil potential and attainment, and you'll be familiar with these from your child's written reports. We use a combination of teacher assessment and nationally standardised tests to monitor progress. Details of the assessment process throughout the academic year and how the data that we obtain is used have previously been shared and are available on the school's website. Teacher assessment is ongoing throughout the academic year and is reported at the end of each term, with your child's attainment compared to the national age-related expectations. The quantitative data that we refer to in reports and parents' evenings comes from the suite of standardised tests that we carry out at specific points during the school year. The most commonly used scores are those from the cognitive ability test taken in October, verbal reasoning, which relates to potential in English, non-verbal reasoning and quantitative, which relate to potential in maths. These give age standardised scores which take into account a child's age within their year group at the time of testing, with scores between 89 and 110 being considered within the average range. Historically, scores well above this range have often been considered to be grammar entry level, and those significantly above have previously garnered scholarships from competitive entry schools. Further details about the assessment cycle at Sherborne House are available in an narrated presentation on the school's website. We recognise that the move to secondary school is a big step into the unknown for the whole family, and we're very happy to assist by providing as much information as we can and time to discuss options with form teachers, subject teachers and members of the senior leadership team for those who would like it. During the spring term in Year 5, we will arrange meetings with those who've asked for further information or advice about secondary school choices, and are happy also to organise meetings with any parents of children in Key Stage 2 for this purpose as requested.
When you are registering your child for a secondary school place, it is possible to apply for consideration for a scholarship or bursary if appropriate, and attention should be paid as to how and when this should be done. Details are usually given on schools' websites or can be requested from the school's admissions office. Scholarships are merit-based. Academic applicants will be judged on their performance in entrance tests, while those seeking sport, drama, art or music awards are likely to be invited into school for an additional session. In order to demonstrate their ability, either live or via a portfolio of evidence, the acceptance of an offered scholarship can bring with it the expectation of commitment to additional practice potentially outside normal school hours. And schools retain the right to review scholarships during a child's time at the school. Bursaries are mean tested, and with limited funds with which to finance these, schools are likely to prioritise and offer a place to pupil applying for a bursary only, if there is a strong academic performance or demonstration of talent to support it. As with scholarships, bursaries are likely to be subject to regular reviews. It is very helpful for staff to know as early as possible if you intend to apply for a scholarship for your child, so that they can help to gather any supporting evidence required. If staff feel that an individual's performance in sport, art, music or drama might merit a scholarship, then they are likely to have already spoken with parents and will be more than happy to assist in gathering the necessary information.
Remember, the benefits of a good prep school education in providing the work ethic, motivation, self-discipline and lifelong learning have already started at prep school will set your children in good stead for their senior school. You've already chosen wisely once by sending your children to Sherburn House. Now, hopefully, this guide will help you make the next most important decision for your children, their senior school. Thank you.